Shannon. Thanks for sending in your footage. We're just going to play your kick in slow-mo here. Okay, and it's noted that, you know, you are a beautiful kick of the footy already, so we don't want to change too many things, but we just want to look at it and pick out probably 2 or 3 things that we can improve, so you're ready to go next AFLW season. All right, so let's have a look at your approach. So we're looking just for a nice fluent stride pattern, which you're achieving, active feet to start, which you did, and we're also looking that you keep that ball within the channel. So we don't want to be waving the ball outside your body here. So you can see you are doing that. You do tend to bring the ball over a bit to your left, which is okay. I wouldn't encourage you to go any further that way, okay, because that's where you're starting your ball lift from, is right there. Okay, so you're starting your ball lift from this side of your body, and you've got to take it up over here. So if you want, you could keep it a little bit tighter in there, but it's not a huge area of concern. All right, the other thing we're going to look at is your grip on the footy. So we'll try and zoom in a little bit here. All right, for those junior footballers out there, you can see you've got a nice spread of fingers, okay, nice spread of fingers, and you need to give yourself feedback on, are you putting enough pressure on the ball to allow for that control. Something to note, you can see this hand here, your non-guide hand, is a little bit more over the front of the footy, which is fine. It's more important that this hand is got some even spread on both sides of the footy, so you can have control. Okay, so your ball grip looks good as long as it's comfortable for you, and you've got control. That's what's important. All right, so now we're going to look at the ball lift, which commences from here. All right, so lifting, 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 lifting. Okay, and that's about the apex of your ball lift. I wouldn't like you to get any higher than that, but it is about chest level, which is great. And I encourage you to keep lifting the ball. One thing we do look at when we're lifting the ball is the position of your hand and the ball. I'll show that on the side-on footage, but you can look at your fingers. The ball looks to be still in a fairly upright position on a slight angle, but it'll look better on the side-on footage, so that's something I'll have a look at. We'll also look at the flex in your arm on the side-on footage. And just to have a look when your balance arm comes off. Okay, so it should be coming off, yep, just before the apex, which it has. Okay, and then the balance arm is out there. So that is why we have a ball lift, so the balance arm can just come off like that, and it looks really natural and it looks great. Okay, so we'll have a look at the ball lift on the side-on view as well. Let's have a look at the ball drop. So on the ball drop, what is happening? Okay, so on the ball drop, we like to keep our arm pretty straight. You can see yours is still a little bit flexed. So, and you're taking your hand away this way a little bit, all right? So maybe that's an area for attention, that we just need to keep our arm a little bit straighter, and we don't want to be taking our hand away. We actually want this hand to stay down here on our kick leg on the right-hand side of your body. So just be careful that we're not taking it away too much, all right? We're going to look at when your hand loses control of the ball, and it's about there. So it's a little bit deceiving, this footage, but it'll show better on the side on. But let's just assume that your waist is about there. You can see that the whole ball is above your waist. Okay, I'll show you a picture of Scott Pendlebury here, and you can see that most of his ball is actually below his waist, therefore allowing the distance between his hand and the foot is a lot different. So that's maybe an area of attention. So when the ball is at its apex here, okay, we're looking for a horizontal ball, and then we're looking for wrist tilt, which allows the wrist tilt to down, which allows the hand to stay in contact with the ball a little bit longer, and then we want that hand down the side of our leg, not taken away, all right? So ball drops, there's a couple of things there. So we've got to keep our arms straight with the wrist tilt. And now we're just looking at, is that ball in line with the kick leg? It's actually pretty good. That looks in line with the kick leg. Okay, so I think, you know, just be careful that if we were to take 20 of these, that the ball doesn't edge out this way too much, because if it does, your foot has to chase it over here, which will therefore impact on your body position. Okay, so I think you're doing a pretty good job of that. All right, let's look at the ever-important contact. So at contact, all right, so the first thing I want to look at is your balance arm. All right, you can see your balance arm is up and straight, which is good. For the, in our opinion, the optimal balance arm is at 90 degrees. And you can see your balance arm is slightly forward there, so maybe that's something we could just hold up a little bit longer to help with your stability and things like that, and it will give you a little bit more power through the footy. The ball position here, I'm sure you could give yourself a bit of feedback on, and that's just due to your leg coming outside a little bit, so not a huge concern. It's in line with your leg and everything like that. The position on your foot is really good. Okay, so we like the ball to hit mid to upper shoelace, and yours is probably hitting on that upper part, which is great, which allows for optimum power. We'll show on the other angle your body position, and we'll see if the ball is at 7 o'clock as well. And we'll also have a look at the impact of your lower leg. Is it close to vertical? The other thing to note is, are your eyes on the footy? And it looks like they are. So excellent job there. Very important for all those young junior footballers out there. Follow through, we'll probably have a look on the side-on footage more, but we can have a look here as well. Okay, and you can see that your follow through is straight and everything. The main thing that I'm looking at in this front-on footage is your shoulders and your hips are really square to the target, which is great. Okay, so we don't want our shoulders and hips to be twisted. We want to keep them pretty square to the target, and we want our momentum going this way, which yours clearly is. Okay, you're getting momentum through the footy. We'll have a look at some other things on this side-on footage. The last note is just for everyone out there and you, Shan, make sure this core is switched on throughout the phases. Okay, it'll make your give you much more power, accuracy, and you'll just feel a lot more stable throughout your kick. So make sure that core is switched on and those tummy muscles are tight. Okay, now we'll have a look at some side-on footage. All right, Shannon, let's have a look at your side-on footage. So we're just going to have a look in slow-mo first. Okay, looking really, really good. All right, let's break it down. So again, we've spoken about your approach. Really happy with your approach of the active feet, the fluent movement, and we mentioned the keeping that ball in the channel. Try not to move it too far to the left. Okay, so we'll skip through there. Let's look at the ball lift, because I think this is where we can start. All right, so at ball lift here, boom. Okay, you've got some angle on the ball. Okay, it's not vertical, which is good. Okay, but we've got some angle. I think we could get it even closer to that horizontal plane, just to allow you for more control on that wrist tilt. All right, so something to play with. Might be in your ball grip, sliding your grip up a little bit more, but it's something I'd like to work with you there. All right, so at the apex of your lift, trying to get that ball just a little bit more up that way on that horizontal plane. So it's just a slight adjustment. Okay, so that's the ball lift. The pleasing thing to note here is this arm. Okay, that's why you're lifting the ball so well. You've got a slight flex in your arm, and that's how you're lifting the ball to about that chest level. Okay, so that's perfect. I wouldn't like you to go any higher than that. I think that's about the optimal height that you're using there. So for all those young players, good job there, Shannon. Once the balance arm comes off, is the shoulder and the chest forward. Okay, we're starting, yep, that's good. Okay, so the shoulder here can be back and the chest is forward. All right, so that's something that you could work on, getting that shoulder back a little bit more and that chest forward, looking pretty good, but you're in a nice upright position, and you're getting some nice flexion, you're getting some nice flexion in the leg here as well. The further you can get, if you can get that back just a little bit more, that bit more range through your hips here, you'll even get more power through the footy. So that's just something to note. All right, so let's have a look at your ball drop. So where are you losing contact with the footy? I'd say it's about there. All right, so again, all that ball is above your hips, slightly a little bit under it. If you compare it to the photo I've got here, you can see that Pendlebury's got most of the ball below the hip, so he's controlling the ball a little bit longer, and it's probably due to his ball lift and particularly that wrist tilt, a bit more control. So maybe that's something we can work on there as well. All right, ball drop. You can see this is where you take your hand away. Okay, as we showed there, your hand's going away that way. I'd like to keep it a bit close to your kick leg. We've spoken about that in the front-on footage. And keeping that ball in line with your kick leg as well. So that's looking pretty good. Let's look at contact now. All right, look at that. That's beautiful. So again, something I'd love to show junior footballers there. That is a perfect angle at about 7 o'clock. The ball's sitting there, ready to be struck, and the drop punch should happen there, and it should happen on the mid to upper shoelace, and it should be a nice firm foot, which again, I'm sure you have. Let's have a look. Look at that, beautiful. So the toe is pointing down towards the grass. A lot of junior footballers, their toes actually pointing up towards the sky. So that's a great result there. The foot's in plantar flexion at contact, and that's why you're such a strong kick of the footy, mate. So keep that going. The other thing to look at is the position of the lower leg, and there, that should be nice and vertical. So you can see that's got one more frame to go, but you can see that leg is perfectly vertical. Some junior footballers are contacting the ball too far out there, and by the time they contact it there, they've got no power to get through the footy. So you're doing a good job. That lower leg is vertical, so excellent there. I'll use that as an example. The balance arm up at contact, we've spoken about that on the front on footage. You can see your balance arm's edging this way. It's not a huge concern, but I'd like you to practice and see if you get better results by getting that balance arm, okay, at 90 degrees and up a little bit longer. So not a huge concern, but something to play with. And the other one was eyes focused on the footy. You can see you're doing that. So for junior footballers, get that done. One of the most important things. All right, follow through. This is where couldn't see it much in the front on footage, so it'll be interesting here. So after you contact the ball, okay, you can see you're getting great momentum through the ball, and you're going to go out of screen there. So that's excellent. You can see where you're contacting the ball. All right, contacting the ball back here, and let's see how far you get through. Boom, 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 and you can see Shannon's on her way this way, getting good momentum through that footy. And we noticed the hips and the shoulders were square in the front on footage as well. One thing that I did notice here, you can see your leg doesn't really get much above your hip level. So I'd like to see you work on that. All right, trying to get that foot above there. I'll show a photo here of Severio Rocker, who you see, he gets his leg probably on in that more fashion. That could have been due to the kick you were doing. You might have been doing a lower kick. But again, work with your conditioning staff for that hamstring flexibility and hip mobility as well. Your conditioning staff might be able to help you there. All right. The final thing that I want to mention here, and it's one of the most important things, is your body position. Okay, nice and upright. All right. So a lot of junior footballers that I deal with, okay, their body's back here and they're sitting back in their kick. Okay, this way. You've got a nice upright body. And it looks pretty strong there, so you can get a lot of power and momentum through the footy. So great job with the upright body. One thing I just want you to be aware of is I don't want you to be hunching over too much here with your neck. I want your eyes to be still on the footy, but just be careful crunching over like that, particularly when you're doing longer kicks. It's going to limit your distance and power. So depending on what kick you're doing, yes, if you're doing a low punch kick, you want to get your chest and things over the footy, but if you want to open up a little bit, you want to get this balance arm shoulder back and your body in a nice upright position, okay, and try not to hunch over too much there at the neck. But that's just something to play with as well. All right, so I think we've gone through basically everything. Hopefully this helps you, Shannon, and looking forward to working on those couple of things, particularly with your ball drop. Just a little bit more control, and it might allow you to be even more of a consistent kick. So I believe you're one of the best kicks in AFLW, but we can always improve. So thanks for your time, Shannon, and look forward to seeing you soon. All right, if you enjoyed the content, we'd appreciate you to hit the subscribe button and also have a look at a couple of videos that we've linked in there. Hope you liked it.